2 minutes. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the town meeting. It's a beautiful crowd here in the performance hall, and hello, everybody in TV land. I want to shake things up just a little bit. Let's stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we have announcements this morning. Our July calendar should be delivered to you Monday. The latest would be Tuesday, but I want to highlight some things so you can start signing up. The first thing is, of course, 4th of July is Monday, a week from this coming Monday. And we have a couple who has been performing all over Northwest Arkansas, and many of you know Susan Shore. She's been a private companion here over the decades, and her husband, Michael Cochran, is a performer, and they play a genre called Americana music. It's a little bit of gospel, a little bit of bluegrass, blues, and they will be performing on July 4th here in the hall at 11 a.m. So I hope you can come by for about an hour and a half of music and then go to lunch. It'll be a nice lunch, and I'll help push this announcement out. There will only be breakfast and lunch served on July 4th. There will be no dinner, so make plans accordingly for that as well. And then on the 7th, Dr. Jerry Rose, who is a retired biological anthropology instructor at the university, will give a presentation not on his 30 years of work in the Middle East, but his vacation to Jordan. So he's like, nobody wants to hear about my vacation. It's like, yes, they do. Yes, they do. So it's going to be fabulous. Of course, he'll cover Petra and other UNESCO world sites in the Middle East. So please join us for that on the 7th. How many of you are Downton Abbey fans? Raise your hand. I'll have the new movie here on the big screen on Friday the 8th. Fresh popcorn will be served. So we're going to shake things up even more in July and host a casino night. It's called Denim and Rhinestones Casino Night. So get your blue jeans out. Ladies, get your sparkly bling out and all your rhinestones. We will have 2 tables of roulette, 4 tables of blackjack. We'll have 4 one-armed bandits. Let's see, what else? I think that's all. But there's going to be a fabulous heavy hors d'oeuvre meal served, and you can make your way around playing games and dining, or come to the dance floor. We will have fun music by Jumpsuit Jamie and the Can't Wait to Play Boys. A lot of fun there. Some people were curious about going to Inspirational Point in Eureka Springs, which is the opera school just outside of Eureka Springs. And I had advertised that we would go see a little night music on July 1st. But it just wasn't working out with transportation, so we have moved that to Friday the 15th. And we're going to go over a little early, have a nice dinner in Eureka before we go to see a little night music in the outdoor amphitheater at Inspiration Point. So you'll want to get signed up for that. How many of you have heard of Top Golf? Raise your hand. Well, we're going in July. And it's so much fun. You can play golf. We'll be on the second level. And basically the goal is to eat some food and have a drink and then hit the golf ball to a lighted golf, what do you call it? Target. Thank you. And so that's going to be a lot of fun, and I have to make a group reservation early, so if you're interested in that, please sign up. You're not in the sun, and they have a cooling system. Even though it's open air, it's not really burning up hot. And then we have a sidebar comedy improv show scheduled on the 28th. Now, some of you have been called about the tour this coming Monday at Tyson headquarters. We'll be touring the art, including Remington's, as well as the art pieces of clay by Erling Henry's daughter, Ginger Geyer. There's been such a fabulous response, we had to divide up into two groups. The first group will depart at 2, so please load up. If you got your call the other day, load up and be on the bus by 2 o'clock. Second group, same thing, load early. We want to pull out at 3. And that's going to be a wonderful trip because Ms. Geyer will be with us to talk about her pieces as well. Have any questions for me? Programs? Oh, I wanted to tell you real quick. I talked with Will Poole, the driver, this morning, and he is recuperating. And he will be visiting with his doctor a week from Friday to let him know what his schedule will entail and when he can come back and join us at Butterfield. So I told him I'd let you know what's going on with Will, and I appreciate all your prayers for him as well. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer, and then we have Jay and then Quentin. Have a fabulous weekend.
Good morning. I don't know if you have been able to meet my assistant, Keisha. She's here 10 hours a week. She's a wonderful help. She, by trade, is a physical therapy assistant, so she brings a lot of knowledge to the position. She's not here on Fridays, or I would have her talking right now. She is doing the balance testing program. We're going to continue to develop it and grow it, but it is drop by. It takes 10 seconds. It's like standing on a scale, and it'll give you a balance score, and you can keep checking and seeing how you're progressing with your balance. That is every Wednesday from 1 to 2. It's drop in, so if at 1:30 you think about it, head that way. You'll also get some good suggestions from Keisha about how to improve balance. With her skills and mine combined, we're really wanting to continue to add things that will help you improve balance. One thing is that I will be getting a 3rd certification in Tai Chi. I leave July 8th through the 13th, and that will be one more little thing that I can add Tai Chi-wise. Also looking at setting up and this should be coming and getting into your boxes with more information in 2 weeks, a balance obstacle course. It will be going on in the Aquatic Center gym. I have a wonderful intern. Her name is Macy, and she will be in there to give assistance. I will be putting all of that information on your in your box. I just wanted to tell you right now so that you would get excited about the balance obstacle course, balance testing. We still have the balance class Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30, so really trying to make sure I have everything on our programming to help you really have the best balance. Also, we're going to keep the pickleball going until no one shows. It's Wednesdays at 10, but we were able to put a temporary, just so that Quentin hears me say temporary, paint down on the court, so we no longer have to get there, sweep, paint, chalk. It's now there for a couple of months. So we're going to try and make the pickleball start at 9 instead of 10, so it's a little cooler. Once fall gets here and the temperatures come down, you'll be hearing a lot more about pickleball because it is so much fun. So please consider giving that a try. We have 2 more hikes scheduled, hopefully. We're working, the goal with this one for off-season hikes is to get really good at using the walking sticks. Walking sticks can help with stability, But they also, if your stability is great and you're wondering, well, why would I use a walking stick? You can also improve your posture and gait to make your walking form better. And that is what I'll be working on this upcoming hike on Monday at 10:30. We're going to just go down the road to Kessler. It's beautiful. It's got shade, and we'll spend about 30 minutes walking there. On the 11th, we're going to switch and walk the halls. So if you're curious about how to use the walking Nordic poles correctly, please think of joining me Monday, this coming Monday, or Monday the 11th at 10:30. Also, always here to help with anything you need, fitness and wellness. So if you have an idea that I haven't thought of, please share it. I'm open to it. Thank you, and here's Jay.
So those walking sticks aren't really swords? I thought they were just swords the whole time. I love it when I get to go after her because I get to think about all the things the way that my world mixes with her world, and so the walking sticks and the balance. So, if anybody falls. I'm the Director of Healthcare. Good to see everybody here today. Jay Green. We have plenty of space in healthcare, is what I was getting at, if you have a balance issue. But other than that, I have some good news. I wanted to do a little show and tell this morning. I brought a piece of furniture with me that you have purchased. And I say you because the foundation. And so this is a piece of patio furniture that is going out in the sensory garden between healthcare and special care. We wanted to upgrade our furniture that was more ergonomical to get in and out of for the residents, more comfortable, weather resistant. Right now we have some patio furniture that's just, it's worn its wear, and some rockers and things such as that we'll be getting rid of. So I wanted to bring one piece here, and I've got one piece in the back that you're more than welcome to give a shot at and have a feel at. I was just very excited. Beth Steele worked very hard on this program to get some furniture for the patio. And we had ordered it, I think, 2 weeks ago. And, of course, they said it would be in November, and it came in on Monday. So, surprisingly enough, the supply chain will surprise you with things you didn't expect to get early. So, but other than that, I wanted to let everybody know some good news, too. I had mentioned before that we had gone through our assisted living survey, and we were waiting for our report. Well, we received it. We had a few things that they wanted us to fix. We submitted that report on Tuesday of this week, and they accepted it on Wednesday. So they are happy with the way that our assisted living is going. And so I'm very pleased to get that behind us and head towards the next one. I also wanted to mention I had the pleasure this week of meeting the new UAMS physicians, and they will start on July 5th, I believe is their first day. We had about 12 to 15 of them in here in the performance hall, and we're able to give them a good Butterfield welcome, and I'm really excited. I think they're a good group of physicians. I was happy to see that I believe out of the numbers that were there, 4 of them are from Arkansas. So very good to see some locals too. But nonetheless, I wanted that to be some good news for your weekend. I also wanted to wish everybody a happy 4th of July on behalf of everybody from our family to yours. And as always, if you have any questions about healthcare, assisted living, any care service on this campus, don't hesitate to give us a call. All right, thank you so much, and y'all have a great weekend.
Good morning, everyone. Just to clarify what Jay was saying, he was talking about the UAMS resident physicians, or the physicians that's going through their residency program. So Dr. Wright isn't going anywhere, so he's still with us. But they changed out the new group coming in, starting their residency program, and that's what they had this last Monday. So I don't have much to say today. As always, there's a lot going on, but it's just, how much most of it's in the works and really isn't ready for public announcements yet. But I do want to say be careful in our heat, especially if you're down by the garden, if you're out walking. Be aware of the heat. Make sure you're taking appropriate precautions. If you get down that garden, there's a lot of vegetation. If you fall, we may not see you for a while. So make sure if you go, you've got your pendant on, you've got your cell phone with you where you can call help if you need help. So just be careful out in the heat, and especially down at the garden. I do want to spend just a minute on our special care remodel. It is slowly progressing. Where we're at on this project is we've hired an interior designer that we've been working with. We've hired an architect and an engineering firm to help us. We have to have those for state regulations. We've been working through the selection of our interior design stuff. For example, paint, we've picked out the paint colors. We've got a quote from the painters to remove the wallpaper and to paint. The quote for painting come in cheaper than I would have thought, so I was real pleased with the quote on that. We've picked out flooring, and we've got a quote from the flooring provider to install the flooring we picked out, and it was very reasonable as well. We've got a quote on the dining on the serving line that's being in House 2 in special care. It was unfortunately a whole lot higher than we had hoped it would be. So we're re-looking at that to see, okay, why is this so much higher? Is there a better way to do it? Can we save some money? Is this just what we need to spend and it's just what it's going to cost? So we're still in the middle of that process. And then where we're at, the other thing we're working on right now is the furniture selections. We've got of our main committee, we've got a subcommittee that's looking at the furniture selections, and boy, I tell you, I'm just out of my realm here on furniture and colors, and I can barely tell if my pants and shirts match, much less pick furniture. So anyway, it's a difficult thing. We want to make sure we get it right. So we've been a month on furniture alone, so but we just gotta go through it and get it done and get it right. But we're probably, I don't see any way we're going to start any type of construction before October. So just to give you some kind of time frame on where we're at, maybe we get through furniture, it'll speed up a little bit. We haven't done any of the lighting, fixtures, signage. We've still got all this to do. Those will probably go pretty quick, especially now that we got the architect on board. So maybe things will pick up. But this furniture really got me dragged down, got us dragged down for a little bit. But once again, it's important. We need to make sure we get the right, not only the design of furniture, but the colors and fabrics of furniture as well. So, but anyway, that's really all I've got. I'm going to open the floor up for questions. Anybody have any questions for me today? So, some right here in front. So. The question is what are we going to do with the 13 or 14 people in special care? And Jay, you're in the back of the room, so if I misspeak, you raise your hand, start waving your hand. But we would like to try to do, because of, once you get a contractor here, and they leave, you kind of have trouble getting them back. So unfortunately, we can't do all 3 houses at once. We would like to do 2 of the houses at once and try to put as many people as we can in one house, and we may have to move a few people to healthcare while the construction is going on. One of the issues we've got, and this leads exactly into this, is the staging, is what I call the staging of the project. We need to order all of our furniture at once. So if we do one house at a time, where we store the other furniture, while the furniture for the other 2 houses while one's under construction. So there's a lot of dominoes that have to fall correctly, and this is the staging that I refer to. Unfortunately, there's just no way for this remodel not to be an inconvenience or a burden on our residents and their families. I wish I could sit here and tell you it won't be, but it will be. Now it's our job to make that burden as small as possible, or at least as possible. So, and we will certainly do that. But there will be some burden, there will be some movement that we will have to do to do this project, and there's simply no help for it. So I'd like I like to be able to give that to you maybe better sugar coated than what I do, but I'm not sure that's the smart thing to do. Let's just lay it on the table and call it what it is and live with it, because that's what we got to do to get the project done. So, but there will be, we will have to double up some residents. We will have to move some residents, and that's not stuff we like to try to do in special care and a memory care unit. But there's no help for it in order to do this project. So, was there another question here in front? The question is about the vacant units and how the construction is progressing in the vacant units and getting new residents moved in. I'm adding a little bit to what she said, but the question was, how's that coming along? Slowly, unfortunately. The current numbers is, and this was Wednesday's numbers, we have 16 units that are under construction, are vacant. 15 of those 16 was sold. The one that's not sold just literally came open this week. So, and then Leanne was out of town on vacation. So I don't know why all these people want to take vacation in the summertime. But anyway, so that's why we have one unsold. Well, they need to be here working. No, I'm teasing. Of course, they need a vacation. But anyway, we've got as of Wednesday, we had 16. 15 of them sold, one not sold because it just recently came open. We've had 3 closings already in the month of June, and then we've got 3 more since Wednesday. I think one of them closed yesterday, and then we've got 2 more closings scheduled for today that hopefully will go through. Unfortunately, one of our main contractors tested positive for COVID last night, so. So that's put us we were behind the 8 ball anyway, and now we're really behind the 8 ball to get those things finished today. But that's where Joe's at and why Joe is not here today, because he is all hands on deck getting those units finished today. So we've got 3 scheduled in July. So if everything now we've also got a few coming open too, but if everything goes well, we're going to try to get this list back down to more manageable. The issue we got is simply supply chain and labor. Getting materials in, which is the same song and dance I've been telling you for the last 2 years, and then also skilled labor is the big issue we're having. We meet once a week every Wednesday morning, and we go through every unit, and we look at not only each unit, but each line item in each unit and say, what is the holdup in this unit? Is everything on schedule? Are we behind schedule? If we're behind schedule, why are we behind schedule, and what can we do about it? If tile's holding us up, well, if we can't get the tile, well, then let's look at a different kind of tile. Is there another substitute? Is there a different supplier we can go to? If labor's holding us up, can we get another crew in here to do the work? If so, when can they come in? Because that's, often here, well, we can get another crew, but they can't come for 3 months, and this other crew will have it done in 2 weeks. So, well, okay, then we just wait to 2 weeks. So. But these are the things we literally go through every Wednesday morning, line by line, unit by unit, and try to figure out ways to get around these issues. And we really just don't come up with a whole lot, in all honesty. Every now and then we're able to come up with something. And one of our big holdup has been, who knows, I didn't even know this was a thing, but quick dry paint or slow dry paint. Some paints take a lot longer to dry than others. Well, for some reason, when the COVID hit, the fast dry paint, the paint that dries a lot faster, dried up from the market, pardon the pun. So it's been adding about a week to our construction time just because of painting. And so, okay, how do we get the fast dry paint? Can we buy a large quantity and warehouse it? Until lately, we hadn't been able to get it, and then we were able to get 100 gallons the other day, so we bought them and warehoused them, and then we're using them as we go along, which will speed up a few units, but we run through 100 gallon pretty quick. So, but anyway, those are the type of issues we face. It's still just supply chain and skilled labor. There's companies out there that do this, but if there's a lot of building going on in Northwest Arkansas, and can you get people? Yeah, it's just what quality of work do they do, and then when will they be able to come in? We issue with cabinets. I said, well, let's get a different contractor in cabinets. And Joe says, well, the only other cabinet people I can get degree to do the work can't start it for 3 months from now. And I said, well, heck, that's longer than the other people that's taken 2 months to do it. So, but these are the issues we just work through every week. So. And I'd like to give you a better answer, but I can't. So when will it improve? That's a darn good question. We are seeing a little bit of improvement. Quite honestly, I had made the statement back in, I don't know, January, back in the wintertime, that by 4th of July, we would see substantial improvement in the supply chain. Well, of course, that has not panned out. We have seen a little bit of improvement, but it certainly hasn't been substantial. And at this point in time, I really don't have a clue when we will start seeing substantial in the supply chain. I've heard shipping cost is down, and shipping cost and times is still significantly higher than it was pre-pandemic, but is a lot less than it was at the peak of the COVID. So hopefully things are getting better, and I think once they ever start getting better, they'll improve in a hurry. Hopefully. Did that answer your question? Okay. Yeah. Any more questions? No. I think what we're going to see in the economy is, the interest rates and things. This affects the demand. It's just back to economics 101, demand and supply. The interest rate hikes affect the demand side and put a damper on demand. They don't do anything to improve the supply side. So we're just going to have to simply suffer through the supply side getting better. Now, as the demand for products drop, then that will help alleviate a little bit of the supply side issues because people won't be buying as much of the products. But I think we're just, unfortunately, just going to have to suffer through this a little longer until things improve. So, any more questions? Jay, do you have a question in the back? Jay wants to come up and make a statement, so.
No, I had something that came to mind that it's never too early to think about. I was talking to Memo yesterday. I had the pleasure of being the employee appreciation chairperson at Butterfield, and every year at Thanksgiving we give a turkey to the employees. There's been a bird flu, and there may not be any turkeys this year. And so we were looking at the cost of hams. And so when you mentioned supply chain, it's just simply that. Some things are there, some things aren't, but you just make the best you can. And Quentin was right about the special care remodel. No, the last thing I want to do is upset anybody in my neck of the woods, especially not in the memory care unit. We will take very careful precautions and work very diligently to make sure that our room moves are appropriate and are best for the residents that are currently there. And so I want you all to know that because I take that very seriously. So sorry to interrupt.
Well, and I'll just give you a little more tidbit since we have quite a little bit of time left on our normal scheduled meeting. But Memo is still seeing a lot of issues with supply in the dining. Food stuff you can't get. We want this product because we like the quality of it, and you no longer get it, so we have to switch to different vendors. Vendors we may not have used before who may or may not deliver on time. The quality of the product, that since it's a different company and different product, that the quality of the product may not be to the level we want it to be. So we're still experiencing a lot of issues like this. The food committee came and asked about doing $1 for takeout, and I said yes, let's go ahead and do that. The cost for takeout has just gone through the roof. Of course, paper products, any type of paper products, is extremely high and hard to get. So it may be, and we may have already switched back to styrofoam. Simply, we can't get the paper products, and if they're even available at all, the price is just ridiculous. So. That was the idea behind the $1 for a takeout. It's simply just to try to marginalize to cover some of our cost. And the good thing about it is once, if I don't know if that's, I start to say once price goes down, I don't know if I should even say that, because if price goes back down, then we'll just stop charging the extra $1. So if prices don't go down, then it's just kind of like the fuel surcharges. So, but anyway, those are issues we just got to work through until some of this craziness subsides. So if it even ever does, I'm starting to wonder about that. So any more questions? I can blabber all day, so I'll quit blabbering unless Faye, do you have a question? So, no? Okay, well, I'll quit blabbering then. And wait a minute, there's a question in the back here. So. The question is about the number of COVID cases at Butterfield, and we used to put a little chart on the in-house TV. Yes, I quit putting the chart up. Our COVID cases have been coming so sporadic that I'm not sure what value this information provides anymore. We occasionally have somebody pop up and test positive. As standing here today, as far as I know, there's not anybody positive today. We had, I think, somebody last week, but they're past their quarantine period now, so should be, unless they're still having symptoms, should be recovered. But it's just one here, one there. You may go 2 or 3 weeks and not have anybody, and then there'll be 1 or 2 that'll be positive, and they'll quarantine for their 5-day period, and then they'll be fine. And the good news on this is that nobody that I have heard about has had any major symptoms. Ironically enough, we've had more staff lately than residents test positive for COVID. But once again, most of those are just stay home and quarantine for a week, and then they're back to work. None of them's had anything other than just very mild symptoms. But I think one was saying they did have a little bit of symptoms. But most people if you're vaccinated and boosted, even if you test positive, they're just having a runny nose, sore throat thing, and then they're for a day or two, and then they're back fine. So. Fortunately, the severity of the cases has been extremely mild, and that's a very good thing. So, the shots don't keep you from getting it, but they really make it much more mild when you do get it. So, which is like I said, is a very good thing. If we're not getting sick and staying out of the hospital, then I don't want to minimize it because it's not a good thing, but at the same time. It's like getting the flu. You get over it, and you have it, and you quarantine, and you get well, and you get on with your life. So. But anyway, yes, we did putting the grid up because it's just so sporadic that I'm not sure what value that information brings anymore. So, another question in the back. The question was a lot of people are bringing their to-go containers and carrying out their own food. So why does there need to be the dollar surcharge for people who get the to-go containers from the dining room? Wouldn't that cost offset? And the answer to that question is no, that cost doesn't offset. The reason is when we buy the to-go containers, they have a very long shelf life. They really don't go bad. I mean, I guess maybe they would after 10 or 15 years, but when we buy them, they just sit there on the shelf, and we've had to pay for them, of course, but there's not we've incurred the cost, but if they can just sit there and we'll eventually use them up. So if you don't use them, we don't really save any money. And you think, well, of course we do. We didn't spend it, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. They sit there until we use them naturally, but we are having to pay a large extra piece for them. So if you're using them now, they cost us a lot of extra money, so we're doing the dollar surcharge. And you say, well, later on, if we drop the dollar surcharge, they still cost us that much money because they're still sitting there. And well, that's true too. But we're trying to just cover our cost on these, since these things have risen so dramatically. Oh, I misunderstood the question. Okay. The question is saying that since they're not eating in the dining room, won't that offset the cost of them, of the go container? Not necessarily. I mean, it might. The servers are there whether we use them or not. Now, ultimately, if nobody comes to the dining room, we might have less servers. But when the server is there working that day, we have to pay them whether one individual eats in the dining room or not. So, would we save on tablecloths? Yeah, maybe if nobody sits at that table. So, if that reduces the usage, then we might save a little bit. Yeah. So, in that sense, would we save any? Possibly. But anyway, we felt this was reasonable and prudent to cover our increases in costs, so. Well, any more questions? Ginger's giving me a sign to wrap it up back there, so, okay. Well, thanks everybody for coming, and have a good 4th of July weekend, so.